This is really our Friday night, guys.
For real.
Yeah, this is it. Gerald got half a question.
Okay, one moment. Yeah, I'm just getting to it.
Press start. Ladies and gentlemen, citizens and spectators, welcome to the most highly anticipated event in the political calendar, the Beepomonk presidential debate. Tonight, we bring you a clash of ideas, a battle of visions, and a showcase of leadership. As we gather here at the hallowed grounds of democracy to witness a spirited exchange between four formidable contenders: Colin, Gerald, and PUMPYHEART, and at Koster if he shows up. In a world teetering on the precipice of change, these candidates have stepped forward to vie for the highest office in the land, each with their unique perspectives, solutions, and a shared commitment to the future of our great nation. With the nation's challenges mounting and its future hanging in the balance, these candidates bring with them not just their policies, but their hopes, dreams, and aspirations for a better tomorrow. Tonight, we will delve deeper into their stances on critical issues, explore their visions for the future, and examine their ability to lead our nation through these turbulent times. This debate promises to be a thrilling spectacle of ideas, principles, and promises. We invite you to join us as we embark on this democratic journey to make an informed choice about the future of our beloved nation. So, without further ado, let the Beepomonk presidential election debate begin.
Hello.
Hello, hello. Welcome in.
Good evening, everyone.
You're all so serious. Suits, I didn't expect it. Oh no, I'm wearing a bathrobe, Sonny.
Love it.
Properly. Alright. It should be good.
Your laptop is struggling, Cole.
Can we reduce our side of video any? I haven't used it in a while.
Alright, to start things
Change
off.
the resolution a little bit.
I don't think. Okay. To start things off, I'm going to give each candidate a minute or two to give an opening statement and say anything they want about this debate or whatever. PUMPYHEART, I'll give you the first speech.
Excellent. Thank you so much for having me here tonight. Because my fellow Beepomonkers, tonight we are here to lay plain and chart a course for the future of the server of Beepomonk. My ideas are simple. We must make Beepomonk free for all Beeple. The silent majority knows this. The other candidates on this stage are funded by the Beepo Swamp and are stunned by the popularity of our campaign. I hope tonight shows that the swamp is not the future of Beepomonk, that it can be that shining city on a hill. I hope my fellow candidates don't reduce tonight to attacks, trivializing the importance of this election, and we find common ground to solve the tyranny currently rampaging Beepomonk. My campaign is built on 3 promises. Number 1, number of channels is too damn high. There are significantly too channels in this server. By my count, 161 public channels with 161 members in the server. That doesn't even count all the Beepo Swamp hidden behind special ping rolls here or there. The amount of servers is too damn high. We must cut it down. Imagine trying to play soccer where there's players covering every square inch of the field. You can't do it. Cut the servers. Number 2, we must return to our roots and have a tap tournament. Ed Kirby dropped out of the race and endorsed my campaign and will be overseeing and supervising the return of Beepo's greatness through a tap tournament. And number 3, this election cannot end with our campaign. It will continue every day as long as I am president, where we will have an election ping roll where you, the Beeple, get to decide the rules of the server. Every day we will vote on something that you propose, or if no one has proposed anything, we'll have my cabinet suggest something and it will be adopted into practice. That is my guarantee to you as Beepomonk president. So I hope my candidates here tonight come together, we share these ideas, and we make Beepomonk great with your help. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, PUMPYHEART, for that wonderful speech. I would like, real quick before we get on to Colin, I would like to say I am locally recording this, and I will upload it to YouTube after this stream ends. While Colin does his speech, I will get a non-moving background so that it has less lag. Anyways, Colin, take it away.
Okay. Well, ladies and gentlemen, esteemed moderator and fellow debaters, tonight I stand before you with a vision and a mission, one that transcends the digital realm and touches the very core of Beepomonk. As we gather here to deliberate on who should lead this server, I believe that my candidacy as a leader embodies the principles of integrity and accountability that are essential for nurturing a thriving and positive gaming environment. In the world of Beepomonk, where our interactions are often hid behind screens and avatars, it becomes increasingly important that we emphasize the values that shape our virtual society. Integrity, the steadfast adherence to moral and ethical principles, is the cornerstone upon which I wish to build our community. In this realm, it means more than just playing fair or following the rules. It means respecting each other's boundaries, treating one another with kindness and empathy, and fostering an atmosphere where everyone feels valued and heard. Accountability, the willingness to take responsibility for our actions and their consequences, is equally vital. As the potential leader of this server, I understand with great power comes great responsibility. I commit to being transparent in my decision making, holding myself accountable for my actions, and creating a culture where every member of Beepomonk is encouraged to do the same. Together, we will learn from our mistakes, grow as individuals, and ultimately strengthen our bonds as a Beepomonk family. I firmly believe that my leadership can serve as a beacon, guiding all of our people toward a future where our hobby is not just a pastime, but an opportunity for personal growth and social development. By prioritizing integrity and accountability, we can transform our server into a place where every member can feel proud to belong, where respect is the currency of interaction, and where we set an example for the wider gaming world. Today, I humbly ask for your support and trust in my ability to lead Beepomonk towards a brighter and more responsible future. Together, we can prove that gaming is not just about achieving high scores and winning basement battles, but it is about building character, fostering friendships, and leaving a positive mark on the digital world we inhabit. Thank you all.
Thank you, Colin, for that speech. Going to hand it off to the one and only Gerald Freeman to give his speech.
Beepomonk.
Alright, those wonderful speeches. Like, please enable whatever. Sonny, you'll be fine. Anyways, I'd like to say if you have any questions for the candidates, please post them in chat. With that said, let's get on to our first question, submitted from G's. He says, how are you going to determine who are the best chess players in the server? And what are the things you're going to do to make it known? If anyone would like to answer that question, please speak up.
I'll go ahead and take the first stab at this one. As a leader of Beepomonk, I think it is very important to draw the lines of where we are as a society. We have the folks that play Tetris, we have the folks that play chess, we have other people that play puzzle games. I think it's very important that we highlight the additional roles in the server, not just around Tetris, but around chess, and give that more of an active promoting spot. I myself am not very much known in the chess community. In fact, I've not really played a ranked match. However, I am familiar with it, and I do really like watching people play Tetris and chess. So I feel that there's room for both to coexist, and I think that we can easily handle that by having a feature session for folks in the chess world that interact with the folks of the Tetris world and ping them as needed. Thank you.
Here we go again. The Beepo Swamp trying to take over what is supposed to be a nice, friendly Tetris server with chess tournaments? Are you kidding me? Well, absolutely. We're going to do a chess tournament then. That's the way you describe. You ping everybody, say that we're going to have a chess tournament to determine who's the best. No more of these random pings to try to figure out who's the best. We're going to, oh, look, Ryan Ambergy played another chess tournament. We don't want chess. We want Tetris. If you want to play chess, we'll set you up a little tournament. That's fine if the people want it. Return Beepomonk to the people. Allow them to vote. If this is a question that is seriously under consideration, we will allow a chess tournament. If not, we don't have time for it. The Beepo Swamp is trying to take over, and I will not allow it. We do not stand for it. Vote for Pumpy Miles.
The best chess player in the server is already decided. It's very clearly Ryan. So we can do our tournaments or whatever, but it's all just for fun at the end of the day. We don't need to structure the hierarchy of our server or whatever by who is the best at anything. It's like I might be the best Tetris player here, but that doesn't mean that wouldn't be the reason I should be Beepomonk president. The question itself might be a little iffy.
Can I respond to that? because I love what Gerald is doing here, right? Oh yes, everybody is on an equal playing field, right? Everybody in the server, we all are valued and respected. Gerald waited until it was convenient on his presidential campaign to go in and use any of his mod actions to change the non-max outer loser to non-max outer non-loser. That's unacceptable. Just pure political points trying to be made by the Gerald Freeman and Titus campaign. I'm calling it out right now. It's very obvious to anyone paying attention. This is what the Beepo Swamp does. They put a bunch of platitudes out there. They say everything is perfectly fine in Beepomonk. There's nothing wrong under the sun. All you got to do is wonder, why do people keep leaving and joining over and over and over again, right? Why does that keep happening?
Pumpy, I would like to if I'm hearing you correctly, I think you just said that the world of Tetris and the world of chess cannot coexist on this server.
I didn't say that. I said this is a Tetris server made primarily of Tetris players. If there is a chess element involved, sure. I believe I was the one who made, and we won't even get there. We'll get there later. But I made the chess channel on CTM to allow Tetris and chess to coexist. So I'm very well familiar with that. But please continue. Continue.
No, okay. I just was asking for clarification. Thank you.
Sure.
I'd like to get back to the question at hand. I think what's most important is highlighting chess achievements. I think all achievements should be celebrated outside of even the world of Tetris and chess. I mean, I think if somebody has an achievement that is something musically or even a life achievement, it should be celebrated in the world of people.
Okay. Coster obviously didn't show up for one reason or another. That is a habit of his campaign, and I must admit, as his running mate, I am very sad about that. However, I fully stand behind his policies, and I think that we have a good chance in this. We're a solid underdog, and I think that the Beepomonk populace deserve an outside candidate, an outside look in, and I think that I have that. I've not been in the server as long as someone like Colin or Gerald, and I don't have the seniority and the sort of prior high-level positions of someone like PUMPYHEART. That I think I'm not one of the big wig elites that
I was invoked. Can I say something here? Can I say something here? I was invoked. Okay. Number one, who is this? Not the presidential campaign candidate is not even here, and you have to sub in. That's the level of support that you would get from the Costa Sunny campaign. That's what I'm
I
hearing.
completely agree. That's why I'm taking over Costa's presidential nomination.
I welcome that.
You're taking a lesson from the Colin campaign. You have to do the same thing with Lapis.
One at a time. We're not kindergartners.
That's right. The floor is mine. I was invoked there as a quote-unquote bigwig. Let's just talk about the bigwigs of the Beepomonk server and what have they done for you, people? Right? What have they done for you? If Beepomonk was so great, would we be having this debate right now? Would there need to be a president?
I think everyone right here recognizes the need for change in the Beepomonk server, and I believe that's why we are all running, because we all have identified that there has a desperate need for change here.
I agree, and that's why I think I am that's why I think I am the best candidate. I will implement the most changes.
You have to really be careful when it comes to change. Change just to change things is not necessarily a good thing.
And this is why the old Beepomonk elite, such as yourself, shouldn't be voted in for president.
Here comes the Beepo Swamp saying everything is fine in Beepomonk. Here
did
it
I
is.
Say, no, did I
it's
say that?
All sunny and gray, right? I believe we can make Beepomonk the shining city on the hill, Colin. I do. I agree with you there, all right? But the way you do that is not by saying, "Oh, we're afraid of change." You give change to the people. Allow people to control the server, right?
But you cannot just willy-nilly change things, because you could upset the balance of people. You have to make sure that every voice is heard and everybody has an opportunity to voice their opinions and then make change that's best for the people. Sometimes the best change is no change at all.
That's crazy. Timing out my vice presidential candidate for no reason whatsoever? That's the kind of change that you're advocating for? Okay, fine. All right, if that's the sort of power-based control these mods have on the server, you ask yourself, all the mods that are on this stage tonight. Well, I'm not sure about Sonny. Costa was supposed to be here, okay?
Yeah,
But
I would like
all
to.
these
I
mods.
would. I would
Go
like
ahead,
to
go ahead.
disclose that throughout the campaigns prior to this point, there has been a lot of controversy between myself and Pumpy, and I would like to say that I want to leave most of that behind here and say that I still respect Pumpy as a candidate, and whatever opinions he may have, they're equally as valid as any other candidate. Whether or not they're as good, that's to find out.
Well, thank you, Sonny. As a VP president, you are well spoken for as a candidate there. So, but yes, I respect your opinions. But come on, guys, we have to talk about the real issues that are affecting the people. Okay, we can't cut around the bush and pretend like everything is sunny and golden. Great question. Great
So
question.
let's get into more of the issues. Let's move on from the we've far tracked away from the question about chess. Let's get another question where we can weigh in.
Yes. All right. Thank you, Colin, for that. All right. Next, we have a question from Bunny. They're asking, how will you make the rules more strict and not allow ridiculous behavior to take place? One at a time. We'll start with Sonny on this one.
Oh, starting with me. Okay, so I think something that's clear with the Beepomonk server is that there's two main factions of belief around pings. I think pings are the main crux of Beepomonk in its current form. If you want to get pinged a dozen times a day, Beepomonk is the perfect server for that. Some people want more, some people want less, and it's difficult to account for both groups at the same time. Throughout Ryan's tenure, he implemented things such as ping rolls, and I think pings are the essence of Beepomonk. I think reducing the amount there and reducing pings towards the populace is changing a fundamental part of the Beepomonk society. I think pings should be made more free. I think everyone should be able to ping whoever they want at any time. I don't think we should be limited by these rules and regulations around ping rolls.
Oh my goodness, I could not disagree more. Okay, number one, if the people want more pings, give the people the permission to add more pings. Right? I'm the only candidate
That's what I
promoting
believe.
an election channel that says that you can put any amendment forward, and it could be that everybody gets at everyone permissions. Right? If that is voted into practice, great, more pings for everybody. Right? What I will say though is that we must cut down on the ping rolls for vanity rolls, right? Assigned roles that people cannot opt out of, that takes away the freedom of the people, right? Right? For example, I love this game. I love playing DAS, but I got pinged so many times as a DAS player. I didn't sign up for that. I don't have strong opinions on the future of DAS, right? So I was getting more pings than I signed up for. And while you think that's a benefit, it's a problem when there's 161 channels and 161 members in the community. That is far too many, and that's just public channels. You ask yourself if you trust the tyranny of the Beepo Swamp with protecting your attention span and your natural ability to pay attention and do what you want to live your life, right? I don't trust the Beepo Swamp. You don't either. That's why we're having this debate, okay? So we will return the power of elections to the Beeple. And it'll start with my campaign. I'm the only one up here brave enough to say it. Exactly how that would be enacted.
No, I think you miss a major point here, Pumpy. Let's
No,
talk
no.
about the little
No,
red the little red circle, right? When we open up our Discord and we see that little red circle on the Beepomonk, it brings a smile to my face, as I'm sure it does to the people of Beepo. It means that there's activity in our server. It means that our people are engaged. One of the big things that my campaign has really been trying to do is we foster this integrity, accountability, and sustainability. It is providing the content that the people want. Now, obviously, the people of Monk want to be pinged. That's why the ping rolls exist. That's why I have my own special refined ping roll. You can make a ping roll for anybody. And I believe that if you want a specific ping for a role, then great. If you want to opt out of a ping, that's fine too. You can bring that to whomever moderator is in there, say, hey, take me off of this role, please. And we should be responded to very easily. But at the end of the day, look, it's about getting your hands dirty. All right. I'm not going to just sit up in my glass tower and looking up everybody. I'm not afraid to loosen up the tie and roll my sleeves up and talking over to the people of Beepomonk on a real level. Now, here's what I'm going to say. I'm going to do what I can for the people the best way that I can, and that starts with open communication. How else can you communicate with people? By giving them a ping to say, hey, I'm valuing your feedback here. Please give it to me. I'm not going to try to hide this in one of 161 channels where you may or may miss it because you weren't given a proper ping to let your voice be heard. Thank you.
Are you kidding me? I'm hearing straight from the Beepo Swamp's mouth that there's a special Colin ping roll? Right? You can't get much more swampier than that. This is what our campaign is saying no to. You do not make Beepomonk great by having the swamp creatures have their own special. Ooh, I'll have my own just for Colin ping roll. I can't believe that. Right? Now, I agree, ping roll is a great step in the right direction. I believe that there should be more of them. Make them opt in, opt out, and not behind one single person. Are you kidding me? Well, that's my ping roll. Don't use my ping roll. Use your ping roll.
Oh, I have never
my
said
gosh,
that
are
people
you
can't
kidding
use
me?
my ping
Refined
roll.
ping?
No,
Refined ping?
I have never
you kidding me
once-
with this?
I have never.
You're the
This
only one-
seems. Who needs a single ping roll just for themselves? You have a name. We can ping you by name. Okay.
No, this is a ping roll that is designed for folks that want to know what's going on with me or what I find interesting to people. It is a subset, if you will, a friendship that we've built where I could say, hey, if you guys are interested, opt in. You could react to the role and get it assigned right away. You don't have to go to anybody, say, take me on, take me off, whatever you want. You could sign up for it. And if you're in that group and you want to say something that's on your mind or you want to share something with the rest of the people on that ping roll, it is open season. I've even told ID Kirby, I said, hey, go ahead and use the refined ping roll. You know, I believe one of the people on this stage, I can't remember exactly who it was, said, hey, you're not refined ping. You can't use it. Absolutely you can. That's why that role exists.
I would
Well,
like.
I'm glad to hear
Pumpy,
that. There's
Pumpy.
74 hello channels. Are you kidding me?
Alright.
That's plenty of
I
time
see
to
what it
ping
is.
whoever you want to ping. Oh, come on.
Alright, Pumpy. I'd like to ask you a question. So, you said that people should have their own pings and have their own roles, and as long as they're opt-in. But then you also stated that Colin's ping role is bad, even though it's opt-in. So I'd like for you to explain how that doesn't contradict itself.
Sure, a Colin opt-in role, right? Completely different, right? Are we going to be giving every member of the Beepo Swamp their own opt-in ping role? Not if I'm president, no. Unless the Beeple want it, right?
No,
if
no,
the Beeple want refined
let's
ping,
take a second
then
right
keep
there.
refined ping. I don't have a problem with it. It's what the Beeple want, okay? I'm saying is
Why can
the current
PUMPYHEART
administration-
decide
Sonny,
unilaterally? How can he decide unilaterally that he's going to say no, we can't do that unless? You know, he says a lot of I'm gonna do this unless. You know, that's a cop out to me. I don't think that this position is in the ability to act change at all. You're not supposed to be out there saying I'm going to unilaterally make decisions. I'm going to make for sweeping changes.
Are
This
you
role
not
is
listening
about
to anything
execution.
I said? Did the frames drop for you too? Where you missed my opening statement? I said we're going to open a channel, have an election roll, another ping opportunity for those who opt in, and if the people want to decide on an amendment to, well, give everybody refined ping roll, then you give it to them.
You know
or
what?
we're going to make a DAS
take...
roll and assign it to everyone we think who has ever played DAS, right?
You're right.
That is an
I'm
option
going
for
to take
the people,
accountability
not me,
here.
not me here.
I
That
am
would be
going to
what
take
the people
accountability
decide,
here.
and I will enact what the people want and not be a member of this Beepo Swamp.
Agreed. And I will take accountability here, Pumpy. I did miss that. I apologize.
Okay.
I'm going
Thank
to
you.
learn from that. I did miss that part in your opening statement. So thank you.
That's right. That's right. Just like you missed that your campaign candidate here, some of the actions that they're doing, but I don't know. There's a reason that you swapped to the top of the ticket. I don't know if we want to get into that tonight, but
Well, hey,
sloppy
my-
behavior
my-
is all I'm gonna say.
Hey, my candidate missed the election, so
I don't know which one's worse. Oh my.
I'd like to open this question to anyone. I know there's been mention of polling people about should we have a role to be pinged for specific things. But I'd like anyone can answer. Is having a opt-in role not the same as letting the people choose if they want a role to be pinged for specific things? Because in essence, it's the same thing. If they want that role to be pinged, then they can opt in.
I'm sorry, Cole. Can you repeat that
Yeah,
question?
sorry. So, essentially, we're saying that we should have. This is more from what I heard from Pumpy, but it is also a question open to everyone. We're saying we want to have a role to ping people on whether or not they want a change to happen, such as refined ping. But isn't it the same thing if you ping people and let them opt in to whether they want refined ping? Then it's not majority, it's just whoever wants it gets it.
I see what you're
Yes,
saying.
it should be an opt-in role. I think that is certainly something that will be done for the election when we win. We will make an amendment suggestion channel and allow people, if they would like to opt in. Well, first message in that channel will be an opt-in ping role, right? And then after that, we'll ping every single time that there's an election, right? And they can decide exactly on which amendments are being added, right? I think the other key component, right, is that if the people want more roles like that, then absolutely we make them. We make them and we use them, and we use them in such a way as they are meant to be used, as determined by the people. Okay, right? Not my campaign, not single solo emperor rule like we currently have, who has created this Beepo swamp in the first place, right? We will give it back to the people and allow the memes to fly and soar and create that shining city on a hill that the people want so badly, by giving it to them exactly as they want it.
Yeah,
At its core,
I draw a little bit of questions. You know, when you say we're going to have amendments proposed and then elections, I worry that we're going to start burying ourselves behind some red tape, where it gets difficult to pass an amendment, or where too many options need to be heard and folks need to get their discussions out, but they have to then fall into line and wait for that issue to be voted on. I really do think that it's important that we keep an open line of communication, not just at election time, but throughout the entire part of the amendment proposal, as well as any suggestions that need to be shared. So, you know, Pumpy, I am a little bit concerned. I'm with you on this. I think that it's very important that we do give the people exactly what they want, but I do believe we cannot hide behind the election red tape and put everything up to a vote. I think there needs to be organic change to the server when it is most needed.
So I just want to be clear. All right. So you're saying that if an amendment passes, that's red tape, and that the will of the people creates red tape? Is that what you're saying?
No. When you were
I
saying,
trust the people, and I trust them to make good decisions with their ballot. Okay. And I have no problem whatsoever with them if voting down an amendment to submit a revised amendment, and then maybe that one passes. That's part of the democratic process, and I trust the people of Beepomonk to make wise choices.
Is it really a democratic process where you are waiting for issues to be put up to an election and it is simply voted on without any vetting or any challenge to those amendments, any debates or discussions either way? You know, I'm afraid that when you put something right behind an election, right? If you just put it up for election, you put it to a sweeping vote. I think before that, getting it onto the election is going to be where the red tape exists, Pumpy. I think it's more important that these changes get presented and that there is a forum. As a matter of fact, my campaign team has put together a concept called the Council of Beepos, where we will have select representatives honored from the folks of Beepomonk that could say, hey, I would like to voice my opinion as a group. Come to the Council of Beepos where we can have spirited discussions on changes. And then if it says, you know what, let's take this to the people, or we have enough support where we do not need to get this as an election. This is an organic change. Let's embrace it as it is. So I'm very afraid of putting everything behind process because that disallows for organic change.
did you guys hear
I
what
would.
was said there?
We did not, Gerald.
He did not call the people the people. He called them the people. Disgusting.
I've said the people of Monk. Yes, we are people.
We're people.
So what I was going to say was voting on everything, pretty much. That is a well-established democratic process
Agreed.
that
Agreed.
has happened, that in fact is more or less the system of government in Switzerland, where the general populace vote on pretty much all major reforms or amendments or laws in the country. And I think Switzerland has a pretty good track record democratically, so I think a system like that would have solid groundwork laid ahead of it already
A true
by prior
democracy, however,
systems.
does silence the the voice of the minority, right? If you go to a simple majority rule, let's say you had a 66 to 33% split. Is that 33% vote? Are those voices not important? Absolutely, they're important. I think that just goes to show that you can't just go with a pure democracy. You have to have representatives that can stand in your corner and have these spirited discussions with other leaders of Beepomonk. You can't just take everything to a vote.
This is
So
the
that way you
problem
get
that
a
Beepomonk
third of a
currently has.
representative to represent you?
Yeah.
Like what?
Beepomonk currently doesn't have a clear constitution. We don't have a House of Representatives or whatever system of government
Yes,
you may
that
choose.
is why my campaign team has proposed
But does
that we
that
will
so
be
will we
outlaying the
have
Council of
elections
Beepos.
for the full however many it is, 12, let's say, Beepomonk council members? Will each of them be elected? And if so, will that also be a first past the post 66 to 33 style system where a third of people aren't clearly represented?
You know, I think the details of that need to be still worked out. One of the main focuses of my campaign has been promoting myself out here as a viable candidate. I do have the concept in mind, but we do need to get feedback from the people on how we will handle the Council of Beepos.
You know how it was handled in this country? Right? A bunch of people slamming amendments at each other until they made something stick. And that's what I trust the people of the server to do. They can hammer out. They don't need Colin and Lapis getting together, cooking up something. I don't even know what Lapis is cooking up right now. I can't even
I don't
begin
want to
think
know
of
what
the
Lapis is
council of-
cooking up right now.
I don't want to either, right? And so you're going to trust Colin and Lapis that we're going to create a constitution that works for all people. Listen to it. Give it to the people and let them hash it out. If the people want a constitution, great. If they don't, fine. I don't care. I care what the people want, right? It's not about my campaign, the Pumpy Miles campaign. Previously, we're going to get back to this too, where it was a Pumpy Bunny campaign. We're going to talk about that at some point here tonight. The Pumpy Miles campaign is not going to be the forebearers and deciders of what exactly is the rules of your server. It will be your job, the people. Ask not what Beepomonk can do for you. Ask what you can do for Beepomonk.
Okay. If that is all that has been, that's all that needs to be said on that topic, I think we'll move on to the next question. Or, not really question, more of a prompt. I'd like each of you to briefly go in depth on the changes you would make to the server if you were to be elected, or if you don't think there needs to be change made, why? And we'll start with Gerald on that.
Good.
Beepomonk. So firstly, I think a lot of my competitors here are really losing sight of the Beepomonk in their heart, you know? It's not always, it doesn't always have to be exactly decided by a democratic vote. A lot of times, the best thing to do is what's funniest. So a while ago, Pumpy mentioned me temporarily banning or timing out his vice president or ex-vice president. I did it because it was really funny in the moment, right? And I think that's what's something we should strive for as people, as competitors, as everyone. Doing what's funniest in the moment is what the Beepomonk community is really all about. And that's all I have to say about that.
I was invoked. I get to respond, right? Ask yourself, is this Beepo swamp working for you? Where people with power abuse their power for what they temporarily think is funny, maybe to a select just 3 or 4 people conversing together. Let's talk about how there's 161 people on the server and 7 talk in a given week, okay? Maybe we'll come back to that discussion, okay? But I agree, doing things that are funny, I trust the people to do funny things. I really want announcements to return back to general, right? Me personally, I will advocate that as my democratic right, okay? But I'm gonna leave it up to the people. I think that would be hilarious if announcements is general again, okay? I want things to be funny. I would like to have a lot of memes. I don't want it decided by 1 or 2 people in control who were there when the server was made on day 1. I don't agree with that.
So if I may address the question, I don't believe it's the role of the president to enact change. I am not being elected into this position as a legislator. I am not going to be making sweeping changes across the server. It is
Didn't you
my
just say you were
job.
making the Beepomonk Constitution and
It is
Council
my
of
job.
Beepo?
It is my job to make sure that the voices of the people are heard, and that we, as fellow Beepomonk individuals, have a platform. Okay. Again, we're going to go back to my 3 words throughout this campaign. I've talked about integrity and I've talked about accountability. Let's talk about sustainability. How sustainable is it if we're just randomly timing out folks because we think it's funny? Do we think that that's right? I certainly don't. I believe that that puts a very silence approach on folks that maybe they want to say something, but they're too afraid because then they're going to get timed out. And Pumpy, I do have to say, I do feel bad for your former running mate for being timed out in the server. Under my leadership, that would have never happened. They would have been reinstated immediately, and the offender would have been taken appropriate action against.
I think he just
You're saying that you would get rid of Gerald Freeman for remove the mod role, remove all possessions of
I did not. I said
potential abuse of
appropriate
power.
action. Appropriate action. I did not say what that
is
appropriate action. No,
that
you know,
is appropriate.
if that's
right?
what you
if
say,
someone
the appropriate
abuses,
action.
if someone has an abuse of power, you're gonna. Well, you know what
It
I
is-
think is appropriate. I think turn it back over to the people.
It is
someone
not the role-
improperly,
no.
if someone improperly times someone out, allow or vote if the people will take away that position of power.
No, I don't believe it is the role of the president to make sweeping decisions when it comes to.
I agree.
Yeah,
Give it to the people.
Yeah, and so when it would come to taking accountability for an action, it would say, all right, let's talk amongst the people. I have dealt with very stressful things as a father of 4. Okay, I have also held positions as board members for the Society for the Preservation and Encouragement of Barbershop Quartet Singing in America. I have sat on numerous boards as a tech committee representative, so I see how the world works. And I'll tell you, the best way for the world to work is by giving the people a way to sustain, a way to listen, and a way to be heard. Okay, you cannot just randomly go out and do things because it is funny, and you cannot go around make sweeping changes because that's not sustainable. What is sustainable is making organic changes, because that is the only thing that is sustainable is organic. Now, I've often said the word organic. Perhaps maybe the 4 of you that are on the screen here with me today don't know what I mean by that, and I'll just make it very clear. If you want something organic, that means it happens from the ground. You're not forcing it. It just happens naturally. And that's what I really believe the people of Monk really need is organic change, organic growth, and allow this server to prosper.
I agree. Organic change created by the people for the people. I'm 100% in agreement. And only one campaign has a finite plan that can be enacted immediately day 1 to get it started. We don't need red tape to be put up to wait for appointed members of the Council of Beepo. Get started right now, Colin.
Well, let's ask this question to the team. Can everybody put their hand up right now if they are in full agreement that the power belongs with the people of Monk?
The people of Monk or the people of Monk? I didn't hear you there.
What's a people of Monk?
Said the people of Monk.
So the people.
The B-E-P. Yes, B as in Bravo.
The people. All right. I support the people. Yep.
I raised my hand. I feel like I haven't answered the question yet. Cole, would you be able to repeat it? It's been quite a lot of discussion before it eventually got round to me again.
Yeah, so essentially I'd like you to shortly go in depth on the changes that you will make, or lack of changes, why you don't think there's a need for change.
Okay. So, as the anarcho pingmalist candidate, I believe that rules and regulations get in the way of the free will of the people. I think that removing the red tape surrounding many of these things, such as allowing anyone to message in any of the channels, including announcements, freeing up the ping rights for everyone on the server, I think they're integral to the will of the people being truly represented within the server. I think if we implement more of these regulations, if we implement this sort of council system where you have to go through several layers of bureaucracy just to get your change heard, I think that's bad for the health of the server and the free will of the people.
Well, it sounds like, Sonny, you should join our campaign because that's what exactly we're going to do. We're going to give this server right back to the people, free it from the Beepo swamp, free it from the current emperor. Yeah.
I think we all agree there, Pumpy. Everybody wants to remove ourselves from the Tyrannous Emperor.
I was the only one, by the way, who said we should vote out the emperor, right? Everyone else, we had an elimination vote. By the way, I'm not a big fan of those, okay? I think that they're not well beneficial, but okay. I said, all right, if we're going to have one of these, you got to get rid of the emperor. And that's what I did as one of the earliest things in my campaign, said, if we're going to have an elimination vote, we got to get rid of the emperor, right? The emperor cannot be both emperor and president, right? And that was my campaign. If you're waiting around to see what these other candidates are going to do to enact change, don't wait. Join our campaign today.
If the emperor is also the president, then we no longer have a democracy. We have a totalitarian regime, and I don't think that is what we want anyone in this call for Beepomonk.
Unless it were the funniest option available.
That is a valid argument.
I would rather have Ryan be funny and ping everyone 24/7 and kill Beepomonk than it to be boring.
I agree. No boring.
No. It is Beepomonk, not Boring Monk.
With that said, I am going to give you guys the opportunity to ask your fellow candidates any questions that you have about their campaign or anything related to the election.
I'll go first.
So,
all right.
okay.
Oh, okay. All right. Yep. Number one,
You go
Costa,
first.
where are you? You were supposed to be here 20 minutes ago, so I'm asking that, where are you, right? Okay.
Would you like me to answer that for him?
Sure. Go ahead, Costa.
Probably just got lost. I don't know. He's not great with time, I don't think. I mean, it's kind of funny, so it runs with Gerald's policy. I mean,
It is.
So my question would be to Colin. Colin, why did you not answer the interview questions and interview answers? You're the only campaign on this stage here, including Costa, who did not answer their answers and put in interview answers. To me, that looks like dysfunctional government.
There's a very valid reason. While those questions were posted, I was not the forefront of this campaign. I was a vice president to a Lapis Lazuli. Now, I did notice that Lapis, he didn't answer. In fact, Lapis really didn't do much for the election. I felt it was very important that this be taken seriously, and somebody needs to take accountability here. So I opted to step in and become the figurehead of this campaign. And, with that, the timing had expired. I just did not have a time to answer. So I apologize for that. I will own that. I'll take accountability.
I appreciate your honesty. And I want to show the hypocrisy to the good people watching tonight. Whereas Lapis, no answers. Colin, see Christum, no answers, right? No answers whatsoever. But look who's on the debate stage tonight. My VP leaves the server for 1 day and I have to get a new VP? This is pure discrimination by the Beepo Swamp who do not
I
want
completely agree.
outsiders. It's just like Shrek. The swamp, the ogres in their swamp do not want people in their swamp, okay? They don't want people like me. They don't want people like Bunny. They don't want people like Miles in their swamp telling them that, hey, maybe things would be better. They don't want that, right? There's little rules that these things that talking about, oh, we can't have a democratic process because there's too much red tape, and then can't even follow the basic rules of election, and
No,
then
hold on.
accuse my campaign of
Umbrage.
being brazen this entire time.
Now,
I
hold
don't
on, I
get
did
why
not-
this swamp.
I did not say that we shouldn't follow that. I said I am cautious about it, and there's nothing wrong with taking a cautious approach to enacting the voices of the people.
It's like my grandpa who doesn't drive over 15 miles an hour, okay? There's nothing wrong with being cautious until he calls an accident on the highway. Get a load of this. I can't believe it.
Yeah, and speeding down the freeway at 100 miles an hour, that is just an equal way, better way, right? You know, let's just not obey any of the laws and regulations to keep people
Did I say
safe.
disobey? You're the only campaign on this stage who did not answer the candidate information.
In
Okay.
in all
Like I said, my
fairness,
time
with
had
using this,
expired.
answers and interview
in-
answers.
My time had expired. I followed the rules. The time expired. I did not have an opportunity.
in this analogy, I think it would be fair to point out that Gerald's campaign would most likely be driving the wrong direction down the road.
Agreed. Agreed.
I agree with that.
Because it would be the funniest thing, right?
Exactly.
I
And
do have
another thing. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
Right.
I've talked to him.
Pompey's whole swamp analogy seems to suggest that Shrek the Ogre was not completely in the right for that movie. Lord Farquaad was definitely wrong for pushing all the magical creatures into the swamp. He made it worse. And I think that your campaign would be following a similar direction as Lord Farquaad, and we know how the movie Shrek ended.
Are you
I would also like
kidding
to.
me?
I would also like to add that as you invoked Shrek, I would like to say rest in peace, Steve Harwell, lead singer of Smash Mouth, who died only a couple days ago.
It was a
Agreed.
great long.
My
Exactly.
barbershop quartet did a tribute video to him. We did sing Smash Mouth's All Star.
You should listen to
Truly
his
respectful.
version of Why Can't We Be Friends? It's really funny.
Yep.
I think I've heard that one. It is good. Any other questions from the other?
No,
So
but I would like to ask a question
Okay.
to
Okay.
Sonny, if you will.
Yep, of course.
So, you know, I really do like the presentation that you put on today. You know, you came in
Mhm,
cold,
mhm.
not prepared, and you're ready to stick in here with us. I value that. As a matter of fact, I would ask you, you know, if you were not an option in this race, who
Mhm.
would be in your campaign trail? Who would you have the highlight on?
I think emotionally, I think Gerald really is my favorite. He really speaks to the Beepo populace better than anyone. I think he speaks for us and he speaks to us. However, policy-wise, I think Beepomonk has some things that do need refined, and I think Pumpy does have some good solutions to those things. However, I think in a lot of cases he does seem fairly heavy-handed, and I think Gerald, on the other hand, is a bit too off the rails, maybe. But humor is always appreciated.
I appreciate humor, but I will not apologize for being passionate for the future of Beepomonk. No, I will not. You can call me heavy-handed all you want. Pumpy gets things done, and that's why they refuse to allow me to discuss this election outside of the Beepomonk server. They're too afraid of what an outsider can do to their Beepo swamp. You ask yourself, look at all those members. The 10, 12, 15, it grows by the day, members of the Beepo swamp all doing their swamp monster things, okay? They're afraid of our
But-
campaign.
No,
They're
I
afraid
Would-
of turning the
disagree with
server
you.
over to the.
Can I ask? Can
They
I add a
silenced me.
hypothetical?
They silenced me from speaking in other servers. They did
No,
not
So
do
can
that
I-
in any of your
why
campaigns.
why would you want foreigners interfering with the election of Beepomonk? This is
I
a
don't
server
want
base. You
foreigners.
don't want to
I
bring
have
in your
no.
special
Why do you
interests.
think? Why do you think that
You're not going to bring in your
mentioned
big
something?
spending special interest groups into the Beepomonk server and
Can I-
I
winning
have heard
votes.
nothing but Grand Design
Hey.
and Colin on.
Let's
on
go
King,
one at a
Grand
time.
Design
We are
82,
adults here.
And C. Christum. I have seen over and over and over again other channels talking about the Beepomonk election. Tytra streaming. Oh, the Beepomonk election. Pumpy, you can't go on your own platform and talk about what is going on in your life, okay? That didn't happen with anyone else on this stage, all right? And I just want to say from the beginning, this was rigged to get somebody in the Beepo swamp into the position of president. Go ahead.
Can I
Go
ask
ahead.
a
Cut me off.
hypothetical
Cut me
for
off.
you,
Why
Pumpy?
not?
Yeah,
Why
go-
not?
go
They
ahead.
already
I
cut
think-
me
I
off.
think
I
we're gonna
can't
ask
talk
the
about
same
the
question
election.
as you. Go ahead, Sonny.
Well, I was going to say, as you have said, the Beepomonk swamp is increasing every day. Would you find it a viable solution to encompass all of Beepomonk within the swamp? Thus, no one is truly out of the ordinary.
I think that is certainly a incredible proposal, and I think that that is something that if the Beepomonk all would wish to have mod powers, let's do it, right? Give it to all the
Excellent.
Beepo. And then that way, not just Gerald and Colin and Coster and Ryan and Sonny and name all
Yeah.
your other mods get to decide what's funny and time people out. Everybody can.
I'm
time
not a
people
mod,
out
by the
and
way.
ban people.
So,
thank you,
so
Sonny.
can you elaborate
That
on who
clarification.
you talk about the Beepo swamp? Can you give us an example of who
I-
is in the Beepo swamp, please?
Can I would like to say that it's been made. I think it's been made pretty clear that he means generally the mod and staff of the Beepomonk server. But Pumpy, you can correct me if I'm wrong. I just thought it seemed pretty evident in what he's been
It's
saying.
pretty obvious. Every candidate still in this race is a mod except for our campaign. And that's what scares the Beepo Swamp, that we're polling so well that they are going to issue attack after attack, slice away the rights of our campaign, saying, oh, your VP is out of the server, so therefore you must get a new one in 1 week or else you're kicked out.
I don't
The-
know.
the
I personally
chance-
thought
my
that- I thought
VP
that was
my
reprehensible.
My VP was back within 2 or 3 days, within the 7-day time limit. Okay? And they make up these rules to try to attack our front runner campaign because they're afraid of what the Beeple can do. And I'm not. Give it to the Beeple.
I think I have one question for you, Pumpy, as well, that I think it was sort of covered by my hypothetical, but I'd like to hear a little bit more about it, which is, as you mentioned, giving everyone mod powers seems like a fun solution to the swamp issue, as you have been touting throughout this. Do you think that once you're elected president, or whoever is elected president, in fact, whether it's you or someone else, that the power should be fairly quickly devolved down to the Beepo populace through a lot of means, let's say, basically reduce the power of the presidency, because in its current form there's no clear constitution. It's unclear how powerful the president will be. Will they be on par with the emperor, in fact?
Absolutely. I think that you need some guidelines there, but I think that what triumphs, you said what memes
Yeah.
that you will do to dilute the power. I say what memes you can do to dilute the power, right? Give it to the people. My day one priority is to be a president that enacts the change that the people want. Okay. And so if the people say we would all like to be president and that gets enough, passes first past the post, or whatever voting system we set up. I'm not even tied to first past the post. Maybe we can talk about median, or maybe we can talk some sort of ranked choice voting, okay?
I'm hearing
But if
red
that's
tape.
what the people
Red
decide,
tape.
right?
Red tape.
Red tape? What do you mean red tape? Allow the people to decide their own election schema?
You're gonna no.
That's
You're
like, look at all the rich white people up on this stage here with their hats and their Tetris earnings, okay? That's not me, all right? I'm broke. Look at this cheap suit I got from Men's Warehouse.
I couldn't even
earlier
afford
today,
one.
okay?
I'm wearing a
You
Costa
bathrobe.
couldn't even afford.
You own a
Costa
home.
couldn't even
What are you
afford to
talking
be
about?
here.
Costa couldn't afford to be here. That's true. You own a home, Sonny. I know you could afford a better
Yeah.
suit than this. Colin has a nice suit and hat. Look at this. I'm coming straight from the swamp
I-
itself, trying
I-
to fight for you.
He's
take
just
it
Let me be
down.
clear here,
that
though.
he is part of the swamp.
I'm not part of the swamp. What are you talking about? I'm coming from the swamp, fighting for you. This is why I look this way tonight. Okay?
Let me be clear here. Let me be clear here. I own a home in rural Scotland. My net worth is most likely a tenth of what yours is, Pumpy.
Student loans, but okay, we'll talk about that. We can compare
I'm a
numbers.
broke college
Yeah.
Compare
student.
numbers
Since
later.
when is fiscal responsibility a bad thing?
That too.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. And we've seen what Gerald earns. Just go to the money list. See what the big money interests have. You're gonna act like
100%
me, who
of my
organized
earnings.
and gave all that money to Gerald before Gerald even showed his face, right? Let's just be clear here, right?
Can
A
we even be
huge
sure
amount
this
of
is the
earnings,
same Gerald
and then
Freeman?
the face came back on. Yeah, how can you know? All we see is a little bit of a baguette. Right?
You know,
Gerald-
let's talk for a minute about what we've done for the world of Tetris, if you will. You did just say that you've contributed to various prize pools to fund one of the candidates here tonight. Well, I can tell you that I have also contributed a lot to the world of classic Tetris and the world of Beepomonk. I mean, I can tell you right now that I owe Mr. Cole some dollars in Ohio. I've already sunk about $800
Are
of
you
my own
kidding?
money
In
in a tournament I'm
Ohio?
running.
In Ohio? Like Ohio coming up?
As in the Classic Tetris Wars event that's happening in September 22nd to 24th at the IX Center.
I owed Cole money, and it was resolved within 24 hours. Is that the kind of person that you want as president? Can't even pay back the IOUs, waits until
So
in-person
let's-
events?
Again,
That it's convenient for them? That sounds like red tape to me, lining up, well, once
No.
I get my red tape off my
Fiscal-
barbershop hat here
fiscal
and line it up.
responsibility as opposed to frivolously throwing money around. All right,
What's
my money
what's
has to
frivolous
get
about paying people what they're owed?
Did I say that I was going to pay
I
Cole
owed Cole money. I
the
paid it within 24 hours.
The
I was
agreement
alerted
was
that
for
Cole won the
the
CTM
agreement.
prediction.
The agreement was
won
for
the-
me to give him the money in Ohio. Cole, speak to this if I'm wrong, but just today, right? I said, hey, do this and you'll have it in Ohio. That was the agreement. That was the payment terms, and they will be honored. Again, accountability and integrity.
I would
Pumpy,
like
you
to make
said
it.
you,
Gerald, you speak.
pay your debts extremely quickly. But when I won CTM in December in the partially Pumpy led CTM, I'm pretty sure you ran the Matcherinos,
Yes,
right?
that's correct.
It took over a month for me to get paid out. I had to delay
Absolutely.
one of my student loan payments
I'm
because you
sorry.
guys forgot to pay me.
Not forget.
So,
No,
I
no,
don't-
no. We wait until the YouTube gets posted, then we
It
pay.
was a
We give.
month and a half.
If you want to,
Every
if
other
you
time
want
it's
to talk
been-
about, yes, and there were delays in getting those videos up there. Okay, so if you want to talk about the record, let's debate the record, right? Who on this stage has done the most to get money into the pockets of Tetris players, right? And if you want to accuse me of being big business, coming here with a suit and tie, saying that Pumpy is this crazy good organizer who does the best things for the community, I'm going to take that on the chin, okay? I'll take that and absorb it, and we're going to keep marching
What do you
forward, and
think
we're going to
then?
keep doing what's best for this community. And that starts by winning this presidential campaign, all right? The turning
I would
dollars
like
to
to-
the pocket. Oh, and we're going to open up. By the way, I didn't mention this in my intro, or maybe it lost frames. I'm not sure. We're going to open up a match arena for that tap tournament that we're going to host. All these other candidates like, yeah, we're going to respect people. And I do that too. And I respect them with dollars. I follow it up. My commitments are followed through.
Christmas
Gerald wanted
is
to postpone this debate till tomorrow. Can you
I
believe
would-
that?
I
It
would-
was like, I would rather grade papers than debate the other candidates.
Yeah,
Unbelievable.
I'd like to make one observation, I guess, which is out of the 4 candidates here, Gerald is the only one here who has actually profited from Tetris. Myself, I have spent a fair amount of money on hosting my own events. Colin has as well, and seemingly Pumpy, you have as well. We all know that you have spent several months organizing CTM, or did around the end of last year and early in this year. However, Gerald has basically just made money out of Tetris and put very little of it back in.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
It is not my fault that I'm the best Tetris player of all time, and I should not be punished for that fact.
You know, I agree with Gerald here. What is wrong to make a living? You know, if you're something that you're good at and you're able to churn and turn that into funding your future endeavors into your hobby, I'm in full support.
Apologies, as
If
I
you're
was
gonna
muted there.
attack the rich and powerful elite, it's not PUMPYHEART, it's not Colin, it's Gerald.
I think this harkens back to the great piece of journalistic work from Classic Tetris News that discovered that Tetris tournaments only allow skilled players to win, and that it was deemed discriminatory that casual DAS players weren't allowed to win money in Tetris. And I think Gerald is a prime example of that, of the inequality within the systems currently in place.
If you guys are done asking questions, I'd like to, because I don't think I ever got a clear answer about this.
I'm sorry, I need to take this phone call. My grandpa just got moved into hospice. I'll be right back.
Yeah, don't worry.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
You hate.
Anyways, as I was saying, because I never really heard any complaints from Pumpy about this decision. As the person who decided that you needed to get a new vice president since your vice president was not in Beepomonk and was not able to speak on their behalf, I'd like for you to explain what you think is wrong about that decision and why you think you should be allowed to have a vice president that isn't in Beepomonk and isn't in the server able to talk to everyone.
First off, I think that there's clearly something that was going on in Bunny's personal life, and I think that that was completely ignored by the Beepo Swamp. I was attacked Sunday morning by the person who probably threatened this person and definitely has in the past and caused them to leave. That's the pattern of Beepomonk as it is right now. That there are people in the swamp who are intimidating other citizens, and I think that's a problem. Okay. And then the next morning, what they do after they left for one evening, they're like, the next morning, you gotta get a VP candidate or you're gonna be kicked out. There it is. There's the rules that Cole said. You're gonna get kicked out. This was covered on Fox News. You can see the news report in the election discussion in the server. Okay. That it was completely ludicrous, a completely false charge. I wasn't even given time to reach out to my VP candidate and say, hey, is everything okay? How is it? What's going on? I wasn't given that permission before being attacked and being told to choose another VP candidate. It's completely absurd. And it wouldn't have happened to any other campaign up here because it would have been some other swamp member leaving for a day.
Would it not be fair to say that you benefited from that decision, though?
No, I'm not.
No,
All right.
as a
There's some
president.
DM out there that Bunny will face reveal if I'm elected. I have no clarity or have not made that part of this campaign. Okay. But no, I'm very happy that Miles is my VP candidate. I think Bunny would make an excellent cabinet member as Secretary of Defense. And if they would like to do so, I would be happy to appoint them. Or if the people would like to appoint them to that position, I think that's certainly that we can discuss and entertain. I wouldn't say that I benefited from that decision. No, it was a completely.
You can't play both sides. You know, it's a horrible thing that Bunny got shafted by that, right? I agree, right? But Miles as your candidate is much less controversial and only helps your campaign, frankly. And for you to sit here and complain both ways seems a little disingenuous to me.
I am not complaining. I love Miles, all right? There's nothing wrong with Miles. Miles was in my short list of VP candidates back in the day. It made it very easy to get a replacement. Okay? No, I don't think anyone else here.
I think
hasn't Miles benefited from playing Classic Tetris financially?
Certainly.
Well, Miles already had the money. Okay, Miles has a private jet. Okay, he plays Tetris just for fun, and if there's a little bit of Vegas money thrown in there,
so are you not contradicting yourself here?
I am not. I'm saying if you're attacking the rich and powerful, it's not Pumpy. Okay. I will take that. I will take anything.
I mean, you were standing up on this stage, not afraid to attack Gerald, and you have a member of your own camp in the same boat.
It's not attack. What do you mean it's not an attack? I'm saying that the attacks are misguided, right? If you're going to do that attack, I am not attacking Gerald. I want Gerald just like you, Colin.
That's not how I
would
heard it.
love.
That's not
I
how
would
Gerald heard
love
it.
if players in the community continue to make a living out of this. I would love that. But don't attack me. And Colin, don't you dare attack me for saying that I don't care about the players in this community being able to profit and make money doing this. No way. And no way, no how.
I would like to say that I also stood for Pumpy in the whole debacle, and I think the problem is, well, Pumpy benefiting from the outcome of it is almost irrelevant, as it was equally likely that Pumpy could have not benefited from it. And just because a VP candidate ends up having to leave the server or being kicked from the server, shouldn't mean that they can no longer run as the VP candidate. It would mean that the president, for example, would be able to, the incumbent president would be able to kick out the VP of candidates in the upcoming election, for example, to ruin the campaigns of other candidates. And I think
And Sonny-
that's truly undemocratic.
That's an amazing point because we heard that happen here tonight. Gerald admitted that kicking out my VP candidate would be funny. And
She
a
wasn't
brazen
VP.
political attack on my campaign by another campaign with power.
Pain wasn't a thing yet. And it was real.
You were afraid of Bunny being my VP candidate. You would just go ahead, spin it however you want. We'll let the facts speak for themselves. Where's our fact? Who's fact checking this, by the way? Is Ryan fact checking?
I don't
wouldn't
think we
trust him.
The fact check.
Okay.
I have no idea. The B politics swing from one day or another. I have no idea whether this benefits my campaign. I think turbulence at the end of a campaign is not good, right? It's sort of a November drop or October scare, okay, right? Like not good for campaign. So I disagree that this is a benefit for our campaign. All of our ads that we had lined up, we had to take them all back, restart over.
I do think that the topic of discussion here has been like us discussing with each other what our responses to the bunny leaving should have been, instead of hating on Cole for making the decision itself. I've got a lot
Well,
to say about Cole as a person.
As Cole is not a candidate, I've neglected attacks on Cole. Throughout the campaign, I have made many
Funny.
comments on Cole's management of the campaign, but I think that shouldn't be brought up in this debate, as everyone has had to deal
Even
with the
in
same rules and regulations.
Font than Pumpy's. Isn't that discrimination? Look at Colin's font size there.
That's fair. Pumpy's name is very long, though. So it could be that you could use like the justification thing on Microsoft Word, and then it'll just sort of compress or stretch things out.
I don't see Gerald Freeman stretched out. I don't see Hat Coster stretched out. Everyone's been saying Pumpy.
It has been a pet peeve.
10 characters.
Colin is bigger than my G, right? So I think Colin's just the big font because he's got a shorter name.
Yeah, because Coster and Gerald are the same font size.
Yeah. It's really all Cole's fault. Let's blame him some more.
Yeah.
It would be funny. Like I'm looking
Also,
at him.
I don't think for our moderator and judge here, I don't think we need to get into the weeds here. I think what's more important is the voice of the people here.
That's right. Cole has been doing their best in this campaign. I disagree with many decisions made, but we will lodge those complaints after the campaign. Oh my gosh, Colin!
Whoever wins this election can implement changes.
And I would like
election process.
I would like to.
This is an example of the Beepo Swamp being really funny. Colin's name is massive right now.
I would like to state that if anyone DM'd me or notified me that they think I should have done the election a different way, I would have responded. I would have thought about it. Yet nobody ever reached.
I did debate with you for over an hour at one point.
Cole Bucket, I think you did a fantastic job. All right,
Yeah,
you will get no
you're doing
arguments
this
from me.
alone.
You put your heart and your passion into this, and that's all that anybody can ask for.
I would just say that I would.
I've debated you enough about CTWC server issues that I don't think we need to debate about the Beepomonk presidential debate.
But I also think that if someone has an issue with the way that a server is run or something is run, they should speak up about it.
We really should have had an election to determine the moderator for this election.
I
It would've
agree.
looked like-
And then we would have had to have an election.
I think we should
For the
have an
other
election
people.
to determine the
More
candidates
red
next
tape.
election.
More
Yeah.
red tape.
I think we should
Red
have an
tape.
election to determine the color of the tape.
I agree.
I think that would be funny. Yes. You should
You're
propose
speaking my
that in
language.
amendment suggestions, and then we'll vote on it.
But we
right?
should probably have
Best solution.
We
Best
should-
solution.
should probably have a poll on who gets to vote. So, because that's not really unfair. I don't know. Anyways,
And under my campaign, it won't be in an amendments channel. It'll be in the announcements channel, and anyone can post in it.
We can rename it to announcements. I'm okay if the people want to rename it to announcements. That'd be good.
It's come to my attention that Cole has been replaced as the moderator of the election. Please leave. Okay.
Hello.
I'm Guifi. I'm the new moderator for this.
Who Blakey?
I
They
agree.
just kind of threw me in here. Also, my
Thank you.
hair's long now, I guess. So, that's the thing.
Very good.
Very nice. Do
So,
we have any questions from chat? I've been waiting all night for a question from the chat. The people are
I d-
here and they want to ask questions, and I haven't heard a single people question come from the chat.
I think actually we had a question from your own former vice president, but to each their own. I'm scrolling through the chat. I don't see any questions. Wait, do I?
if we do have questions from chat, I don't think I'll have time to answer them because it's already 2:30 a.m. But
For the people.
You know.
Yeah, there is a bit of a stream delay, so they are just now hearing that we've opened the floor for questions.
yeah.
What a lightning round. Can we do a lightning round? One question, one answer.
Yeah. Let's do that.
And then we can get the closing statement. If you would
Here,
like,
I'll ask
it's
you.
up to
I'll
Cole.
ask you a question, Gerald. What's the funniest thing that's happened in Beepomonk? As that seems to be what your campaign relies upon largely.
I think the idea that there's a single funniest thing to happen in Beepomonk is a little flawed, because there have been plenty of extremely funny things that have happened in Beepomonk. For example, the NTSC tournament, the 18-start tournament, that has it's the easiest tournament to run. Everyone else is doing the exact same tournament everywhere. Has lasted over a year now and is not even halfway done. That's hilarious, right?
Somehow
With
throughout
increases
it, several
of-
other tournaments have started and finished.
Yeah, we just finished the 9-start 19 cap tournament, and it was a great success. But the easiest tournament to set up, no cap 18 starts, has failed, and that is incredibly funny.
Guifi says, "Why does Costa look like the girl from Brave?" Because I'm Scottish and I'm not Costa, but we're gonna go with I am for the sake of this argument.
Hang on, I'm trying to read a question here.
Are you replacing at Coster as the head candidate for your
Yes.
campaign?
Yes, because he's too
Okay.
incompetent.
Oh,
And it would be funny.
Half the people running right now think their vice president is an inept, horrible person, right? And the other
Yeah.
half is me and Pumpy, which is funny too.
That's very
Exactly.
Says, nah, nog, nah, Nico, new. Do you have anything to say to that, Pumpy?
I will just say that very happy to have this debate with everybody tonight. Okay, But my question to you, Gerald, okay? Explain your VP gaslighting my VP and making a smear campaign about the Among Us incident. Again, another unfair attack on our campaign. We haven't attacked anybody here tonight. We haven't attacked anybody in this campaign.
Gaslit your VP, Miles the Great.
My prior VP, Bunny. Another illicit, illegal attack that wasn't funny. And that was the crime of all. If it was funny,
Let's
we
be
all
real.
laugh it off. It wasn't funny. It was
Among
just
Us
a
video-
gaslighting Among Us
Among Us
nonsense.
was funny.
I personally think that
think-
was very funny, by the way.
To be someone who doesn't think that's funny. If it happened to Titrus instead of Bunny, it would be funny. If it happened to Lapis instead of Bunny, it would be funny. If it happened to Coster, or I guess Sunny, whichever one's which, it would have been
It
funny.
wouldn't matter.
Titrus is a great beepomonker, who is funny a lot of the time.
Yes.
And I
but
think
not that time.
Is the singular of Beeple Burson?
Doing
I
it
think
in
in-
election discussion, right? Gaslighting is no place for it in B politics.
when I was in
No place for
first
it.
grade, I made fun of a kid in my class for spelling people wrong,
Mhm.
but I misspelt it in my correction, and that really showed me that it showed me something. I don't know where I'm going with this, but it was funny. It's funny for me, right? What happened to me making that blunder, spelling it wrong in my correction, right? That's just as funny as the correction itself if the other guy had spelt it wrong, right? So if Pumpy takes umbrage with Titrus's video, Titrus should be the butt of the joke then, right? Doodle thinks it was funny. I think it was funny. I think the majority of the Beepomonkers, people, if you will.
No, the Beepo Swamp think it's funny to attack my campaign. Here they go again. Here they go again. The members of the Beepo Swamp. Sonny usurping Coster to take control of the campaign.
Yep.
Once
I'm
that's
not
been-
part of the
once
Beepo Swamp, just to be
You
clear.
want to
I've
be.
never been.
You want to
No,
be. You're,
I have
you're
no.
already grabbing power right now. Put me
No,
in,
I-
coach. You said
No, I
Nicole.
want to. I don't want to be part
grabbing
of
this
the
campaign.
Beepo Swamp. I want to drag Coster out of it.
Okay, well that's fair and pretty funny, okay? The other members, right, of the Beepo Swamp, all 10, 15, 20, as it keeps growing, you think it's funny. The 160 people, the silent majority, will be the ones who decide this election. And they don't think it's funny. You got 160 people in there, and if 7 people think it's funny, it's okay in the current Beepomonk server. No way. No
I
way.
think
This
comedy
is
is
a campaign
subjective. I
for
think
the
if one
people.
person finds it funny, it's funny.
I think we should have elections on what's funny.
Yes, I agree, Sonny. The Beepo Swamp doesn't exist. I'm literally reading Gerald's questions, and I can't even click on the channels because it says no access to his interview answers. You telling me the Beepo Swamp doesn't exist, and Gerald's like, I think it should be handled like this channel, and I can't even see it. Just a regular bee person like me.
B person.
Burson.
No, I think
Person.
B person looks better.
That's fair.
Yeah, I think we should have a vice president debate.
I
Right,
second
'cause
that
I don't know. I
motion,
don't. The
Drew.
problem is Coster still wouldn't show up.
No,
Maybe you could take Costa's
average-
VP position back.
Yeah, take it back. Yeah.
average age of candidates here, is really-
I am not in favor of a Beepo VP debate.
right? So when
Oh,
we
I
all
wonder why. I wonder why, Colin, you're not in favor of a Beepo VP debate.
Really
I
Right.
can't
wonder.
imagine
I
why.
can't. No idea why. Okay. Somebody shouldn't even be in the server. Unbelievable.
Alright, I'd like to, if any of you have any more questions, you may ask them. Let's try to keep it brief, and then we will wrap this up.
I've got a question for Colin.
By all means.
Beepomonk.
I'm sorry?
Beepomonk.
Question mark.
No, Beepomonk.
Okay.
All right, I think that's a great way to end it. But with that, I'm gonna give each candidate a little bit of time. Let's try to keep it brief to make a closing statement if they'd like. And we'll start with Colin.
Okay, thanks, Cole. Thank you everybody for allowing me the opportunity to be here tonight. This is a very pivotal moment in the selection process, and I am so very honored to present my closing statement, emphasizing why I'm not only the most qualified candidate, but the embodiment of integrity, accountability, and sustainability. Throughout the selection process, I have been inspired by Beepomonk's profound vision and unwavering commitment to this ethical innovation. It is this vision and commitment that aligns seamlessly with my own principles of integrity, and it drives my passion to serve as the beacon for Beepomonk's values. My candidacy is not just about skills and experience, though. It is about leading with an integrity and a moral compass. I understand that in today's world, success is not just measured by the numbers and profit margins, but by positive impact that we can create. I am dedicated to upholding principles of unwavering integrity, ensuring that we contribute positively to society while achieving our goal. In conclusions, I'm not really vying for this position or be a part of the swamp. I'm seeking a partnership with the Beeples of Monk, built upon the foundation of integrity. I am the best candidate for Beepomonk because of my journey, skills, and unwavering commitment to ethical principles, and they align seamlessly with the vision and values of our organization. I am ready to lead Beepomonk with the integrity, innovation, and the resolute dedication to making a positive difference. I humbly request your trust and support as we do this together. Thank you for your time and consideration.
All right, I think with that, we'll hand it over to Pumpyheart.
I open and I'm second. All right, here we go. My campaign, the Pumpy Miles campaign, built on those three promises. Number one, reducing the number of channels. 161 public channels right now with 161 members in the server. Okay, good friends, it's not sustainable. It's not organic like my friend Colin would say. Okay, and I just want to give a quick thank you to Colin for being here tonight, being sick, and pushing through. I think would be a great member of my cabinet. Okay. Number two, the next promise, we have a tap tournament in development after Id Kirby's campaign was suspended, endorsed my campaign. I am proud to say that our campaign has the most endorsements of former presidential candidates, okay? And I hope that number continues to grow with what you've seen here tonight. But with Id Kirby's help and guidance, we will create a tap tournament with the Matcherino to support the players, and we will determine once and for all who is the best tapper. And then number three, I will guarantee on day one of my campaign an election ping roll and an amendment suggestion channel where all people can vote for the future of the server. For instance, will announcements be returned to general? I hope so, but it's up to you, the people, to decide, okay? Together, we are the silent majority, and we will make Beepomonk great. So, tonight, we had that ability to come together, okay? We could change Beepomonk for the better. Ask yourself, ask your friends who are in the server, is Beepomonk working for you, or is it working for the Beepo Swamp? I hope you will consider our campaign, Pumpy Miles, whenever the election is, because together, all of us will make Beepomonk great.
All right, thank you for that, Pumpy. With that, I'll hand it off to Sonny.
Right. I would like to thank Coster for being the worst candidate here, or more worst candidate not here, and myself for being the best VP here. I think the problems that have been discussed today are very important issues that Beepomonk, that the Beeple in general need to solve through their own solutions, and to do that, I believe, not in draining the swamp, in flooding the swamp, and then everyone individually, every bee person can make their own decisions on how Beepomonk should be governed. And I'd like to thank all of the other candidates for being such great public speakers.
All right, and with that, I'll hand it off to our last public speaker, Gerald.
All I gotta say is Shrek 2 is a better movie than Shrek.
Agreed.
And Shrek 2 features almost
It's
zero
true.
swamp. And I don't know what to do with that information. But I know that much like Fiona in Shrek 2, Beepomonk needs a hero. And that hero is not Pumpyheart or Colin, who will die of old age and be replaced by their vice presidents if elected. It is not Coster, because Coster is not running anymore. And it might not even be me, but we will have another election in a year. Hopefully Beepomonk will not have been destroyed by any of us by that point. And I guess that's all I gotta say. Shrek 2 is a really good movie.
They drained the
Shrek
swamp.
3
Drained the Beepo swamp.
And Shrek 3 isn't as bad as people think it is.
Puss in Boots too.
Shrek 3 is still pretty bad though.
Yeah, but it's like people think it's like really bad, right?
It's like a 4.
It's like better than Cars 2.
It's like Beepomonk. It's so bad it's good. Yep.
Actually, maybe not as good as Cars 2. Cars 2 is pretty good. It's better than
I would
Cars
say
3.
Beepomonk is better than Shrek 3. Just throwing that out there.
Shrek 4 was pretty good. I think that's all. See ya.
With that, I'd like to make the announcement that elections will begin tomorrow. Hopefully, should I not sleep in. But yes, Pumpyheart tomorrow.